has the ability to be great. You have to be willing to activate the great from within. It starts with you, and it starts right now. Hello, we are back at it.
Another week.
Yeah, man. Tyler Davis, Greg Thomas, as usual. You don't see Grant, but he's up in here, too. He's the one that makes it all look pretty.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah, man. Wait, thanks again for checking in. I'm glad to see you, as always, back at it. Another week.
Yeah, and the first week of a brand new year.
Oh, yeah, man. I think sometimes people kind of build up the new year to be some things that they are and some things that they are not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
There is a real reset, right?
No, that's just like one of those myths.
Or not an annual reset anyway.
No.
Right? Like, oh, here I have permission to try to be better.
Right.
I need January to get here. It is a false front a bit, but whatever it takes. Like, I mean, if that's something that accelerates somebody and gets them like, hey, you know what? I mean, I like the idea. There's hope in something, that's yet to come.
Yeah,
right?
a fresh new start.
Right.
New opportunity.
Yeah, and I'm here to just challenge it a bit. Like, don't wait for the new year to get here, right? Just remember, like, anytime that you want to hit a reset button, that's there. I mean, there's the New Year's always right around the corner.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and you don't have to start on a Monday.
No,
today.
It's just like today, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Without judgment, of course. I mean, look, we go backwards, we go forwards, we do, all these things.
We're always in motion.
Right. One thing that gets you there, though, is the ability to have a clear mind. Right?
Oh,
Get out of the bondage, right? Step out of the matrix, right? Come on, Neo.
Dude,
Water's warm.
For real. Oh, man, there's so much power to that, too, because we stay tethered to all these different things, these different situations, and we're always like, well, I got to wait till then. I got to wait till next week.
Oh, yeah. You end up having like this like double matinee of a mind movie, right?
Yeah.
It's just going on and on and on,
yeah,
right?
Back to back.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like this, double feature that you weren't ready for, but next thing you know, 2 hours, 3 hours went by and you really didn't achieve much other than you kept mining your mind. That's not always a place to be. It's definitely not the place of clarity.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So today, 3 ways to clear your mind.
Yeah, man.
Of many. These 3 stand out. There's some things that are tethered to them. There's ways to unlock that door, that clarity, right? And it's crystal clear. There's just some things that you can do to help yourself.
Oh, most definitely. Like, what are your habits?
Right.
What are you doing every single day to cultivate and clear that mind?
Right. Really, what's occupying your mind?
That's a big one.
So, number 1, set your tomorrow up today.
Set it up.
This is like the power of getting that to-do list done. That's the last thing you should be doing. That way, when you go home, you got a clear mind, right?
Yeah.
You're not thinking about tomorrow because it's already set up.
Already mapped out. So you sit down the night before and plan out tomorrow.
Exactly. And then you hit the track running, and then when you wake up, like, bam, there's this sense of purpose. It's already laid. But you don't have to sit there and let it wander in your mind and drift away like, oh, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Well, you didn't forget anything because you wrote it all down.
Yeah, and you mapped it out.
Exactly.
And plan a little bit of time for the unexpected.
For sure.
It's going to happen.
Oh, dude, it's kind of like when you're doing rehab on a house. You really don't know what you have till you tear into something, right?
Man.
So that's part of it too, right? Is giving yourself a little breathing room, but you save so much time to allow for the unknown when you plan it out.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have a sharper mind. You're going to be more in the moment.
And part of that is being realistic with yourself and the amount of time that you have and how much you can get done in a given day.
Well, you're organizing thoughts all together. I've done that, and I'm like, man, I have a way busier tomorrow than what I thought.
Yeah.
Then you start resetting your brain. You're recalibrating. You're like, okay, you're getting realistic. You're dialing it in. You're tuning in that radio station that you want to hear.
Yeah.
And that is tomorrow. So, big thing. It is.
And that's helping you clear the mind.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because you feel organized. It's amazing when you're organized, the clarity that brings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Versus flying by the seat of your pants. Like this year, for example, we got our events calendar done way early, right? And you take away the undone kind of angst away from that whole entire project by mapping it out in advance. And then when we have other events that kind of come our way from other type of, organizations that we're a part of or folks that we support, companies we support, we're already ready already.
Yeah, we're prepared.
Right. So we set up our whole year yesterday. So set your tomorrows up today. That's the big thing. You can do it. Give yourself that 15 minutes of, unseen or unrealized clarity, okay? Because it's there, I promise you. Number 2, don't leave a crumb trail. Now, this is like a exit ramp that goes 3 or 4 different directions, okay? Because there's ways that we leave crumb trails that we don't understand. Some of it is very simple, like going through the motions and not actually looking at something. Like, I have this deal going in underwriting right now where folks are looking at the surface.
Right.
They're not diving in deep and actually looking at it objectively and using some analytical skills that got them into the role that they're in.
Right.
We want to glaze over it and then spend more time explaining to me why this isn't a good file for this client. And they're wrong. It's okay. I've been wrong. They're wrong, but dive into it.
Right.
4 hours go by and they start actually diving into it like, oh, hey, we might have something here. Yeah, no kidding. That we wouldn't have pre-approved them if we didn't.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Dive into the details, right?
Yeah.
That's a crumb trail in itself, is when you're actually spending time spinning your wheels looking at something, but you really didn't dive in and look at it. You had this glaze over mindset and thinking about other things you're trying to get done that are not getting done that you think take precedence to what's in front of your face.
Yeah, because that's the crumb trail that was left from yesterday.
Correct.
And from the situation before. Yeah.
Robs you of your clarity. You can't even give the situation its due, right? Like, bring everything, and having a plan and not leaving crumb trails and having all these other things don't make you feel like you're on borrowed time.
Yeah, man, you got to finish each thing as you go. Otherwise, it spirals out of control, and you can lose your mind over it.
Well, doesn't ego get in there too? Oh, well, hey, I know this well enough. You don't get 100% allocation of my focus right now because I need to be sending 20% to the other stuff that I'm not working on right now.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. And in our business, that's where you got to put them boxing gloves on and go toe-to-toe like De La Hoya. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just have to be prepared for the unexpected. But part of being prepared for that is having some clarity up front.
It is, but at the same time, we have to be prepared to, break them out like Mayweather and just get fisticuffs for our files and for details and all that because you know what's right.
100% get it.
Right? So
sure.
we're doing that, right?
Yeah.
That's what we do, right? But do unto others, right? Do I need to finish that sentence? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what
we
you're saying.
set people up. We do these things. You can't expect this in return. You have to be the beacon of light and the change of that by not leaving crumb trails, going through, doing your diligence. Another way to leave a crumb trail, right? If you got something to say to somebody, don't say it to 10 other people first. Okay?
That's the worst, man.
There's whether that person that you're discussing, the center of attention, we'll call it, whether they know it or not, they can pick up on that. You're sending that signal out into the universe. You're sending a frequency that's very powerful. It's nitro charged, and you're sending that out there into the field, okay? And they will pick up on it at some point.
Oh, yeah, you send out those 10 breadcrumbs, it forms a whole sandwich.
That's
not good.
It isn't, man. How much easier is it to, for people to always know where they stand with you?
Just be honest and upfront, man.
Dude, everybody knows where they stand with me. Am I perfect about it? No. But this is something I think about all the time. Like, man, I'm just going to say it. Here's what's up. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But at least I got it off my chest and I'm not carrying that around with me. That's a crumb trail in itself. If you got something to say to somebody, if you have a discussion, a talking point, one, you probably actually give a crap about that person or you wouldn't even be saying it.
We've discussed that before,
many
for
times,
sure.
Right? But don't leave those crumb trails of things that need to be said and just kind of sweep it under the rug, because when loyalty trumps fact, corruption is near. At some point, there will be a corrosion, a corruption of that relationship if you can't air that out and just say it.
And all those crumbs will come to life.
They all come to life, dude. Next thing you know, you got mice, and ants and everything is just eating away at that relationship. You know what I mean? And that's just another form of a crumb trail. It's not always work. It can be the way you interact with people, right? And this is coming from somebody who I've definitely, slit my own throat with my tongue, okay? And realized there's a way that you can articulate things and say things that you don't have to have like a jab or a sting with it. Right. You know what I mean? I think that's something that I've seen the benefit from focusing on that over the past couple of years and not just trying to have something with teeth in it all the time.
Yeah.
That's another crumb trail in itself. Did you leave that person better than you found them?
That's a big one.
Right?
That's a big one, man.
Yeah, that's a big tether, right?
Yeah.
That's something that we talk about. And that's another form of a crumb trail. Did you take a jab at somebody, just to say it and you feel better about it? I mean, I feel like I've had several growth opportunities in that space, Well,
we learn as we go, man.
Right, but if you have that awareness, right?
You have to.
You're like, okay, I don't like that. That's a crumb trail. That I'm leaving a part of me there.
Right. Yeah, if you say it in a certain way and it hurts you, even as it comes out,
but you got it on your mind now, right? Versus feeling good about everything. So how can you have clarity when you have these things that you're thinking about, man, I should have handled this differently. I should have said this differently. I should have slowed down and proofread the moment. You know what I mean? I find myself doing that all the time. Oh, I should probably proofread this. It's probably worth an extra 30 seconds just to sit here and let it digest and maybe slow down the velocity, or the intensity of the situation and let it calm down a little bit,
Oh, yeah. As a father, I have had to work on myself in that regard many times.
Oh, man. But the message is clear. Now it's like we get these opportunities like, hey, look, I didn't say that in the best way.
Right.
But do you understand the message?
Exactly.
Do you see
That's
why?
Finish the nail.
Correct.
For sure.
It is, and you're cleaning up the crumbs, and then I don't have to think about something I left undone.
Right.
So that's another crumb trail,
Yeah.
leaving things undone. You know when something's undone.
Yep.
Again, number 2, don't leave the crumb trails. And you can see there's lots of different trails,
Yeah,
okay?
man.
And it all adds up, and the next thing you know, you're on autopilot. Number 3, there's always something to do. I remind myself of this all the time. If you're trying to move the needle, if you're trying to be better than you were yesterday, today, and better even still tomorrow, there's always something to do.
Always.
And you're not picking people apart or picking anything apart. You're constantly shaping and grooving and molding and making things what you want them to be. And that way you can get to that marvelous station, man.
Yeah, man.
It just constantly redefines itself. So there's always something to do. There's always a way to move the needle, and you're not doing it because you're living on I Suck Island.
You're not doing the
You have-
paralysis
It's a mindset.
of analysis.
It is, dude.
It is. I mean, you can just sit there and you can almost like watch yourself. Like the old school Macs, they'd had the little pinwheel that would spin. Like you can see that within yourself if you were looking back in the mirror. Like I've caught myself doing it.
Oh.
Like so many different things, and part of it is because I wasn't practicing number 1 and number 2, like what we're talking about, where I didn't set my tomorrow up today. And then before you know it, man, one phone call, everything can spiral out of control.
No doubt about it. You know, you get one thing that can just tangent time your day and it's a wrap, right? And then you can remember, like, why am I always pushing? You got to remember why you're always pushing so hard,
Oh,
right? Because you just move that needle, you know, like, yes, I can handle this. No, I'm not overdoing it. Okay. Like, I mean, like this week, for example, you know, I'm kind of pulling back, you know what I mean? And not in the office a whole ton. You know, I do this a couple times a year, right?
Yeah.
This is a great time of year to do it.
It is.
But you better believe that I'm hammering these phones and I'm getting things going and I'm moving.
Without a doubt.
Right? And it's always happening.
Yeah.
You know, you're sitting there thinking about all these lead generating activities that you have. If you're really trying to grow your business, be about it, not just talk about it, there's always something to do.
Always.
And what that's going to also allow you to do is not be in your head.
Steady activity, man.
Dude, 10 times, right? Grant Cardone that ish, man. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, stay busy. 100 times the action. Like, I mean, if you're always doing something, you're always, even if you don't know exactly what you need to do, or you didn't plan on everything happening that day the way that it happened, because you're in that mindset, okay? Because you're sitting there thinking about how you're going to grind like there's no tomorrow, you were thinking of things to do.
It's go time.
Right.
Because you stay hungry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know,
man, don't get a full belly.
no, like, are you planning stuff out? Like, hey, I got this, and this. Okay, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. These are all lead generating activities. What are we going to do to move the needle? There's always something to do. Idle minds, being in your dome, okay?
Oh,
that
man.
just doesn't work.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
it just does not, there's nothing there.
I always think the word stagnation.
Oh.
Like what water sustains our life, right? So what happens to it when it doesn't move?
Oh, dude.
It dies.
Well,
It goes stagnant.
You just want to think about it like that. There's always something to do. And if you're got something on your mind, activity is the number one kryptonite, okay?
Oh, yeah. That's the
Like,
pill
oh,
you need.
You can always be moving. Stop doing this woe is me stuff. Everybody has life going on. Life is life.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something that's going on.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that you succumb to it. If you got someone else that needs you, or like you're thinking about and all that, you think they want you to succumb to that, or they think you want to be inspired because you still have all your capabilities. You still have everything. You still have the ability to breathe and live on this earth.
Yeah, man. Start with that.
Come on.
I mean, that's kind of awesome.
It is. It is. So again, you know, 3 ways to clear your mind. Set your tomorrow up today. You have to like clean up the crumb trails, you know, and know that you're doing it. You know you're doing it. It's like leaving the cabinet door open.
Just a little bit.
Like, you know, oh, I didn't quite shut. Go back and shut it. Come on, man. Quit
Thank
leaving the
you.
crumb trails. Just do it, right? Like, be like Nike with it. Come on. And then lastly, there's always something to do other than being in your head. And to put a button on this whole thing, what we're really talking about is giving yourself back to yourself and get out of the bondage of your mind. There's a difference between your mind and intelligence. Which one are you going to choose, right? Be intelligent with it. Don't let your mind just dominate everything. Go out there, use these 3 tips, make something happen, and let's go, baby. Come on.
Let's do it.
It's New Year. Why not?
Yep.
We out. Want to take a quick minute to thank our sponsor, ccmindiana.com, for all your mortgage needs. Very competitive, ready to rock, ready to help you be a pre-approved buyer that can compete. Ready to get pre-approved for your next mortgage? Stop by ccmindiana.com and see how we can help.